All right, so today we're going to take a look at day 6. So let's see, where is day 6? Oops. So here it is. So let's see if you can graph this without Desmos. So if you remember from yesterday, this goes to the right 1 and down 4. So our vertex is at 1, negative 4. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we would have our parabola right there. And it's symmetric about that axis of symmetry. So if I was to draw a line right down in the middle, I would have x equals 1. So that's the equation of the axis of symmetry. So how are h and k related to the graph? Well, they're the vertex. And I always remember -1, it's always the opposite for that x value. So the next couple things you're going to do is you're going to graph these on Desmos. So pause the video and I want you to graph these on Desmos and identify, it says, make sure you identify x-intercepts, where does it cross the axis, as well as the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Once you have done that, let's have you return to the video. All right, so I'm going to get these all graphed here. Y equals x plus 1, x minus 3. Is that the first one? X plus 1. Negative y equals negative x minus 1. It was x minus 1 and x plus 2. And then the third one, we have 2x minus 1, x minus 3. Okay, so if we take a look at this first one, our intercepts, 3 and negative 1, and our vertex 1, negative 4. So hopefully when you graphed this one, you had 3, negative 1, and then 1, negative 4. So our x-intercepts are negative 1 and 0, and 3, 0. Our vertex 1 and negative 4. And then that axis of symmetry is going right down the middle at x equals 1. So this next one, if you graphed it, negative 2 and 1, and I can't remember what the vertex was. So let's see, negative 2 and 1, negative 0.5 and 2.25. So we had 1, 0, negative 2, 0, negative 0.5 and 2.25. And again, that axis of symmetry right down the middle, so x equals negative 0.5. And then our last one here, (1, 3, 2, negative 2). So 1, 3, 2, negative 2. So our intercepts 1, 0, 3, 0. Our vertex 2, negative 2. And then that axis of symmetry going right down the middle would be at x equals 2. So this first question, how are they related to the graph? So if we look back up here, here's our P and here's our Q. So P and Q, P and Q. Well, I notice it's where they cross, but it's kind of like it's the opposite. So if it was plus 1, it crossed at negative 1. And this one right here, negative 3, positive 3. If we look at the second one, we had negative 1, positive 2, negative 2. So they are our x-intercepts. And how could you find that vertex? Well, one thing I notice is that the vertex is in the middle. So if you flip to this back page, we're going to summarize what we've talked about. So yesterday, we focused on vertex form. So vertex form, y equals a x minus h squared plus k. And we said hk was our vertex. And a makes it wider or narrower. And if it's negative, it flips it. So today we took a look at intercept form. And what intercept form was a x minus p, x minus q. And in intercept form, p and q are our x-intercepts. And if a does the exact same thing. And then our vertex, how do we find our vertex? It's in the middle of x-intercepts. So for example, let's say we were asked to find the vertex of y equals negative 2, x minus 2, and x minus 4. So the first thing, I could say I know where my x-intercepts are. My x-intercepts, if it's at negative 2, it's at 2, 0. And my y-intercept, other x-intercept, would be at 4, 0. Because since we had negative 2 and negative 4, it's at the opposites. So if I was to graph this, I know one would cross here and one would cross here. So where does that mean our vertex is? It's in the middle. And what's in the middle of 2 and 4? That axis of symmetry that it's symmetrical around would be 3. Algebraically, I can say 2 plus 4 divided by 2 gives me 3. But what about our y-coordinate? Well, we have to plug that in. So we plug in our x value of 3 minus 2, 3 minus 4. So replacing that, and we could say what this is, so negative 2 times 1 times negative 1, so that equals positive 2. So our vertex is at 3, 2. 1, 2, and that makes sense, because now we'd have a parabola going down. So the last type of form we're going to look at today, there's one more that we didn't investigate, but we're going to look at, and that is standard form. So standard form is when these are multiplied out. Ax squared plus bx plus c. And a does the same thing in all of these, but to find our vertex, the x-coordinate of our vertex, which I'll call the h value, is the opposite of b over 2a. And to get the k value, we plug in h. So let's take a look at an equation here. Let's take a look at y equals 3x squared plus 18x minus 2. So to find our h value, it's the opposite of b. So a, b, and c. So negative 18 over 2 times 3. So negative 18 over 6 would be negative 3. And to find our k value, we have to plug it in. So 3 times negative 3 squared plus 18 times negative 3 minus 2. So let's see, 3 times negative 3 squared plus, I already forgot what the equation was, 18 times negative 3 plus 2, and it tells us negative 25. So our vertex is at the coordinate negative 3, negative 25. So now you'll have some time that you can start on your assignment.